The research actually shows something fascinating looking at all medications, all of the major medications that have been used for depression. One of the things that they found is that each form of depression medication compared head to head with placebo, what researchers discovered was that all forms of depression medication make you more likely to have future depression compared with placebo. What's placebo? It's basically a sugar pill. It's a pill that has no true efficacy. And the researchers discovered that all other forms of medication that were in this particular study, they all had an increase of depression. And now they may have a temporary benefit, but at some point it's more likely to make you depressed. But I know often people, when they're thinking of natural remedies, you don't want to know about sleep and exercise. But okay, I'm going to give you an actual natural remedy that's been compared head to head to the drug medication. And that is specifically, the Latin name for this is Hypericum perforatum. Many people know of it as St. John's wort. St. John's wort is a beautiful little flower that grows in Europe, the United States. I haven't been to I've been to every continent except for Antarctica. But I know it grows for sure in Europe and throughout the United States and even way in the northern regions. And I'm a believer that God often puts the remedy in the area that you need it the most. Now, in this case, they brought it from Europe because they knew it was so good, and now it just grows wild around the United States, even in the northern regions. John's wort, they've done over 29 different studies with over 5,000 different people, and they've compared St. John's wort to various drugs like selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors and also tetracyclic or tricyclic antidepressants. And what's fascinating about it is they've compared it head to head with one of the most popular drugs for depression, that's Prozac. And the Journal of Clinical Psychopharmacology reports on St. John's wort versus Prozac in a double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled trial. And they found that St. John's wort was significantly more effective than both placebo and than both Prozac and placebo. And so something as simple, the great thing about it is you can also, I could go out, it grows all over my yard naturally here. I don't even need to plant it. It's just walk out and you see these beautiful yellow flowers out there. One of the ways that you can harvest it is you can cut a top third of the plant. You can put it in a bunch, tie it up with a little string and hang it upside down. And what will happen is it will end up drying out, and you can use some of that like a tablespoon, put it in water, and you can make a tea, or you can just buy supplements. But often supplements don't actually have what they claim in them. So those are just a few things that you could try for anxiety or depression or stress and depression.
A lot of people are struggling with pain, arthritis, things like that. What are some solutions in that realm?
So that is now, once again, it also can have to do with the cause. What is causing the pain? Now, often people have arthritis. They have various issues, different forms of arthritis, like osteoarthritis. And what is causing it? Sometimes the cause for those individuals is a food allergy. So if you are allergic to something, it may be causing achy joints, or if you're eating just a junk food diet. If you're eating junk food diet, some people, we had a man come to a seminar that we were putting on in the state of Arkansas. This man was about 40 years old. So I'm now probably older than he was at the time. And this man had such terrible arthritis that his hands were like, he could not, when I would shake his hand, you would shake a fist because he could not open his fingers at the age of about 40. And it was, devastating. You can imagine to live in such a painful state for this man. And he came to our seminar and we put him on a very simple diet. And the seminar itself was a seminar we were doing to teach people habits or basically how to find victory over bad habits. So lifestyle changes that you can make that can make it easier to overcome bad habits. And so we were putting people on a very short temporary diet where the first day you would just eat fruit. The next day you would add vegetables to your diet, and then it would go on from there. And within 2 or 3 days, he came back and he said all of his pain was gone. And he was thinking, but man, I'm probably getting not much protein. People are so terrified, like they're going to die in 3 days from not getting any. You could not eat anything for. If you are overweight, which this man is slightly overweight, you could go for 2 weeks just drinking water, and you'd have zero protein, and you would be fine. You'd be totally fine. But people are terrified if I go 3 days without enough protein, it's going to kill me. But it's not. You'll typically feel great. Your mind will feel clearer going on a fast. But nevertheless, so he did this, and within 2 or 3 days, all of his pain went away. But then he thought, man, I'm probably not getting enough protein. So he just went and ate some chicken, and he said all the pain came back. And sometimes in certain people, these high protein diets or meat-based things can actually cause the problems with the pain. Now, it's not always that. It can be other things.